In English folklore, Black Shuck, Old Shock, or simply Shuck is the name given to a ghostly black dog which is said to roam the coastline and countryside of East Anglia, one of many such black dogs recorded in folklore across the British Isles. Accounts of Black Shuck form part of the folklore of Norfolk, Suffolk, the Cambridgeshire Fens and Essex, and descriptions of the creature's appearance and nature vary considerably. It is sometimes recorded as an omen of death, but, in other instances, is described as companionable. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the name Shuck derives from the Old English word skuka, devil, fiend, perhaps from the root ska, to terrify. The first mention in print of Black Shuck is by Reverend E. S. Taylor in an 1850 edition of the Journal Notes and Queries, which describes Shuck the dog fiend. This phantom I have heard many persons in East Norfolk, and even Cambridgeshire, describe as having seen as a black shaggy dog, with fiery eyes and of immense size, and who visits churchyards at midnight. Abraham Fleming's account of the appearance of a strange and terrible wonder in 1577 at Bungay, Suffolk, is a famous account of the beast. Images of sinister black dogs have become part of the iconography of the area and have appeared in popular culture. Writing in 1877, Walter Rye stated that Shuck was the most curious of our local apparitions, as they are no doubt varieties of the same animal. He takes the form of a huge black dog, and prowls along dark lanes and lonesome field footpaths, where, although his howling makes the hearer's blood run cold, his footfalls make no sound. You may know him at once, should you see him, by his fiery eye. He has but one, and that, like the Cyclops, is in the middle of his head. But such an encounter might bring you the worst of luck. It is even said that to meet him is to be warned that your death will occur before the end of the year. So you will do well to shut your eyes if you hear him howling. Shut them even if you are uncertain whether it is the dog fiend or the voice of the wind you hear. Should you never set eyes on our Norfolk Snarlio, you may perhaps doubt his existence, and, like other learned folks, tell us that his story is nothing but the old Scandinavian myth of the Black Hound of Odin, brought to us by the Vikings who long ago settled down on the Norfolk coast. One of the most notable reports of Black Shuck is of his appearance at the churches of Bungay and Blythburgh in Suffolk. On August 4, 1577, at Blythburgh, Black Shuck is said to have burst in through the doors of Holy Trinity Church to a clap of thunder. He ran up the nave, past a large congregation, killing a man and boy and causing the church steeple to collapse through the roof. As the dog left, he left scorch marks on the north door which can be seen at the church to this day. British rock band The Darkness have a song called Black Shuck on their 2003 debut album Permission to Land. In Teen Wolf, an ancient hellhound spirit that had possessed someone, tells one of the main characters that it is known by many names, one of which is Black Shuck. British rock band Down I Go have a song called Black Shuck on their 2019 EP All Down the Church. In midst of fire the hellish monster flew, and passing onward to the choir, he many people slew. 20 better source needed. In June 2019, after being previously crowd-funded on Kickstarter, the graphic novel The Burning Black, Legend of Black Shuck was published by Renegade Arts Entertainment. The book was written by Mark Allard Will, with artwork by Ryan Howe and lettering by Elaine M. Will. The graphic novel features Black Shuck as its central antagonist. 21. The Black Shuck appears in the 2020 video game Assassin's Creed Valhalla as a mini-boss encountered while exploring the countryside of East Anglia. The player can find it eating a carcass amidst a ruined building, and when killed it gives the player a skill point and its decapitated head. Citation needed. The Black Shuck appears in Rahel Kapsiski's 2020 stop-motion animated folk horror film Curse of the Black Shuck released by Troma. Black Shuck is a track with Knot in the Stomach insistent strings on These Feral Lands Volume 1, a 2020 release by musician Laura Cannell, comedian Stuart Lee and others. Satirical, comedic, theatrical string quartet Bojangles feature a song about Black Shuck composed by Norfolk-born ensemble member Bertie Anderson in the recording of their stage show Excalibur, in keeping with the overall theme of myths and legends.